But since my jungler is right behind me, whenever he's gonna try to break this crash, I'm just gonna set up a perfect gank for my jungler, as you're going to witness. So I just step forward, I E him, and then I ult him back to the Vi. Little miscoordination here because her Q ends up missing him in my ult, but it's still a very good gank setup. And we end up killing him again. Alright guys, welcome to our third episode of my series Getting to Master. So today we actually have a spicy matchup, Sett against Darius. So the subject of this video is going to be on how to snowball a lead from good position to an incredible position. So it's also going to extend as a slight Sett against Darius guide, because there's a lot of interesting stuff that's going to happen in this game. We're going to see both what to do and not to do as Sett against Darius. And if you're a Darius player, you're also going to see a bit of those things as well from your side. So not many people know this, but Sett actually beats Darius level 1. You can beat him either with E or W. Now there's a condition: if you're taking E, you need to Q his you need to E his Q so that you deny him the healing. If you fail to E the Q, especially the second one, the Darius will just butcher you. If he gets 5 stacks, he'll just ghost run circles around you and just butcher you. So you want to actually stand as close as you can to the Darius at first. This can be a bit tricky because the guy can just take W and then proceed to catch you back with his W. But if he takes Q, you want to be as close as possible so that you can E him and deny the Q healing. So as you can see, this guy is not being very aggressive. He's letting me get the prio uncontested. Usually they would try to Q you with the first 3 minions to get the prio. So I just level up my Q and I proceed to hammer him. Right now I'm not in a spot where he can ghost and all-in me, so I can use my spells very liberally. However, I'm gonna start to pay more attention to how I use my spells, especially right now, because if he pulls me and I don't have W, it can end up very badly, especially in front of his turret. So very important there, you always want to juke out those Qs. You want to step in, then step out very quickly. Usually what they will try to do is Q you and let's hit the melee with it. So what you can do is you can go close to your own minions when they're about to die, then very quickly step out of the Q range just before he casts it, and a lot of the time you're going to bait out his Q. Now this is where I start to misplay this lane a bit, because I'm trying to do too much essentially. This Darius already lost his lane. Right now he's in a very bad spot against me, where he's chunked and he's the one pushing. Darius doesn't really like to push because he can't run people down. And this guy made the stupid choice of not taking bone plating instead. So basically, if I ever pull this guy, I can force him to use both of his summers. And if I'm good and I'm patient with my W, there's not much he can do to me. Especially since I have flash, I can flash inside of his Q range. So if I just take it slow, avoid jungle pressure, and do not do anything unnecessary, I will kill this guy eventually. However, that's not exactly what's going to happen. And like, this is exactly what you want to do. You want to take a non-committal trade against him, and as you can see, this is getting further and further more hard for him to play the lane. Except, I am actually going to do what you should never do, which is moving to help your jungler. Because now this guy gets to get out of this situation for free. He just gets to push the lane, crash and recall when he was supposed to die. And this is very bad. So I end up moving to a play. You can see I'm very hesitant because Darius is getting such a free play. So I'm very hesitant about this, and I'm not even sure I'm going to make it in time. And in the end, I end up doing the worst possible thing, which is I helped neither play. So now I go back to top. I'm a bit tilted at myself for doing that mistake, and this guy is face checking me, so I try to kill him. But as you can see, I just tilt ignite him, and he's not very interested into fighting me. So he gets away. And then, even worse, I'm still very tilted, so I'm gonna proceed to try to flash him on his recall and miserably fail. And this is just very, very tilting at this point for me. And as you can see, like, this guy was struggling a lot in the lane, so he went for the Buy of Shame, which is double cloth armor into Wardens. So I'm definitely very, very tilted right now. And this tilt is actually gonna translate into a very bad mistake, where the Darius is gonna kill me because I'm egoing. So as you can see, like, I'm still stronger than this guy, despite him having Warden. He's just not that great in the matchup, so I get away with a lot of stuff. See, like, this is very bad from him because he gets too close, so I pull him during his Q. Actually, I think, like, I got hit with the bleed there, I'm not sure. Anyway, like, this is very good for me. I can definitely win this. But then, this is where the flash difference is gonna come in. So right now, I'm definitely expecting him to ult right about now, because he's getting very low. And anyway, I need to W that Q. But this is where the flash difference comes in. Since I don't have flash, he just flashes out of the true damage, and then he proceeds to dunk me. And I just lose. So definitely a flash summer difference here. I could have played this slightly better, because usually you want to save your ult for when he does the second Q, so that you can use the ult to dodge the Q outer range. But still, if I had my flash right now, if I didn't tilt flash on him, I would have a kill, 100%. Now this is where things start to get dicey, because when you're playing against Warden's Darius, if he kills you once or twice and then he gets damage, suddenly he's too tanky for you to kill him, but he has more than enough damage to kill you. Now this guy is actually going to do a misplay. As you can see, I'm spamming in my jungler in the chat, telling him the Darius has no summoners. And I'm really desperately calling for the Vi to come, because this guy is actually throwing his lead in return. Usually this is what happens. When you do a throw, the enemy will throw it right back at you. You just need to be focused and calm-minded in order to collect whatever throw they're sending your way. And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. Granted, I'm relying on my jungler being a good player, and luckily for me, the Vi is a good player. So I just completely skip this wave, because I know the Vi is going to ult him. And I just step up to him, and I do a very nice max range pull, and then I proceed to collect my free kill. And the Vi is even nice enough to give me the kill. So this is how you make a comeback in the lane. You have to not get tilted and focus on what the opponent used to beat you, and then you decide what play you want to do. In my case, I saw my jungler was topside, so I spam pinged it. My jungler followed. So that's very good. Now I was very graciously put back into my game by the Vi, so I get to kill him and get double plates. And suddenly I'm the one who's, I wouldn't say in the lead, because I'm still behind in gold, but I'm still very, very strong, and I'm in a prime position to bully this guy even further. So actually, what's going to happen next is I'm gonna bait him into a gank by the Vi. We went actually a bit far forward there. Okay, so very important here. My jungler is right behind me, and this guy is going for a vision on a crash. So what I did is I actually pulled the wave to deny him the crash. It cost me a bit of health, but since my jungler is right behind me, whenever he's gonna try to break this crash, I'm just gonna set up a perfect gank for my jungler, as you're going to witness. So I just step forward, I E him, and then I ult him back to the Vi. Little miscoordination here, because her Q ends up missing him in my ult. But it's still a very good gank setup. And we end up killing him again. Now some of you might be saying I am beating this guy solely by the fact I'm playing strong side while he's being weak sided. And that is absolutely true. However, I'm still the one setting up plays and making the ganks happen. Obviously, the previous one, Vi did most of the work, but it was still my call. And now again, with proper wave manipulation, we can keep snowballing on this guy. So we're gonna sacrifice those, because I don't know how fast he's gonna come back to lane. I definitely don't want to get ghosted and run down. And what I like to do against Darius is sack as much AD as I can early on, as you can see, because if you manage to chunk the Darius and force him to panic EU, or to disengage the fight after getting chunked, that's very good for you, because Sett really beats Darius in those short exchanges. Where Sett loses is the 100 to 0% all-ins, where he doesn't get to force the Darius to pull him first, because then the Darius just pulls the Sett and ults him at the same time, and the Sett can't use his W unless he's being preemptive, and then the Darius can just flash behind you if you're being preemptive. But now, like, this guy is absolutely fucked. You can see I only have 300 gold lead. However, the drawback of his strat of Shame, which is Warden's Mail into Tabai Rush, is even if you almost have the same amount of gold, he is very, very behind in terms of items. Gold Drinker is much stronger than Sheen and those items together. And I still have both summoners, so this guy is just gonna die. It's just a question of when, not even if he's gonna die. So a little misplay by me. I actually end up giving him a third plate, and that's still okay. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just walking up to him. I know I beat him. Now he pulls me, so I decide to all-in him. That's usually a cue when you play against Darius. You should just all-in him when he pulls. A little bit of hesitancy here, because I didn't have ult, but I'm still getting a huge chunk of him even if he gets my ignite. So now he has to either back and let me get the rest of the plating and the first turret, or stay and get go. This guy chose to stay and get go. So this is not going to be the cleanest of dives, but he's still going to get me the fruits I want. So let's cover this a bit. I tried to bait out the Q, unfortunately it ends up hitting me. Then I reassess and I decide I can still go for the dive. Especially when this guy pulls me. He's not very bright, because that's the only way he can survive the dive, is if he pulls me. So right now I'm just a bit hesitant because I don't know if he flashes up or not, but I finally decide to pull the trigger. I just pull him, get him into range, Gold Drinker, QQ, ult, and then W him for the kill. Right now I'm fully prepared to flash behind him if he decides to flash away. However, I got very lucky and his flash was 3 seconds out. So I didn't need to flash. And as you can see, that's the neat part with Sett against Darius. You can just block his ult with your W. Honestly, I wasn't quite sure how much damage I was going to get through the ult, so I just decided to preemptively flash away. But then, as you can see, that ended up being very, very overkill because I didn't have any bleed stacks on me. That's also why I was a bit tempered after getting hit by the Q, because I want to let some of the bleeds fall off. And in the end, this ends up costing the Darius his life, and he's also going to lose his plating top. Because I see the Vi is actually invading the Viego. Granted, it doesn't give much vision, but I think they did Drake just before that as well. No, never mind. This might be a flip going for this plating, but it paid off, it worked out. Right now the Darius is ultimately completely fucked, and his lane is just over. Potentially his whole game is over. So I know that was a lot, but I really was happy with this lane and wanted to give you guys a bit of a rundown of how to beat Darius with Sett. So now I'd like to cover very quickly my macro for the rest of the game, because this is how you guys can snowball the lead. So first of all, I decide to take these Crocs because my jungler is doing a play bot side. So these are free for the taking. Just a very minor thing you can do. Then I keep contesting this guy for the push. I don't let him crash, I don't let him breathe. And now what you want to do when the enemy jungler and your jungler both make a play bot side is you want to push and go invade the enemy jungle to deny as much farm as you can. When you're on the receiving side of this and the enemy top laner is pushing, you typically want to go and take your own jungle so that you get gold and you deny gold to the enemy. That's exactly what the Darius did, but however I interrupt him when he's doing the blue and end up getting it for myself. So now Herald is coming up, so I decide I'm going to pressure top to allow Vi to take it very securely. I go and crash another wave, then go help the Vi. Now, little bit of knowledge for you guys. If you get a legend rune from the precision tree, assisting in taking down epic monsters will actually get you a stack of your legend rune. So as you can see, I have 8 stacks out of 10. And after helping the Vi, I'm going to have 9. Now, very quick play on the Darius because he's not being respectful of the fact we could be on Herald. He doesn't have any vision set up here to see if we're going to rotate on him. So just before the Vi takes the Herald and gives him a signal that we're potentially behind him, I decide to move preemptively and just set up a flank on him. And there's not much to say here, we just kill him. Because the Vi finishes clearing the Herald and then she just comes back behind him. That was perfectly well timed by me. And as you can see now, I have 10 stacks of my Legend Rune because like the takedown on Darius gave me 1 and the takedown on the Herald gave me 1. So now me and the Vi can sync up and do a very nice play because Viego showed on top side, so we know there's no risk of him taking the Drake. And we can just dive the Viego and proceed to take it to 2. As you can see, that's what ends up happening. Now we can reset together and go for the Drake. My team starts the Drake, so I know I'm not needed there, since the Viego is still respawning. So I just proceed to go back up to bully the Darius even more. He's respecting me, which is nice by him. So now, why do I not push top lane straight? It's because my team is not exactly applying any pressure on the map right now, and I don't see anyone except for the Lux that is dead. So if I overextend top, and I'm the only one that shows on the map, chances are I'm going to get 4 man and give away a shutdown. This is very important, you don't want to give a 700 gold shutdown away. So instead I just go for a quick vision play on the enemy jungle, and proceed to deny them this one. The Darius tries to pull it over the wall, but I just get it with cheeky W. Then I go to take the scuttle. As you can see, I'm still not showing because we don't have that much pressure on the map yet, but me taking the scuttle is actually good because if they make a play on the Ezreal, I can quickly collapse to help him out. So now, I start seeing people on the map. My LeBlanc is pushing the bot lane, Ezreal is pushing mid lane. I know I can go back top and farm up. So, his people are showing on the map, and he's not respecting it. Because when his people show on the map, that's my signal to go in on him. And he didn't respect it, so he's going to get killed again. So, very obvious flash out by him. As a tip, if you're playing against Sett, don't flash straight forward, always flash diagonally to the side. Because Sett players are ready to flash after you. So now, as you can see, like, his team is still showing on the map. They're not coming to contest me after I kill their guys. So I'm just going to proceed to take the inhibitor since no one is coming to answer this. Now, they might have won the skirmish, but they're still losing an inhibitor for this. And it's right on 20 minutes, so this is going to give us a lot of pressure on their jungle. And gonna give us a very big advantage to close out the game. So yeah, I make a quick play, try to pressure off mid, but let's just ended up one-shotting the wave anyway. So again, we counter jungle when we can, deny them as much resources as possible, set up a trap for the Shaco. Shaco actually escapes with his life, but the Darius is overextending again because he wants to clear the waves before the supers arrive. So we just collapse again with the Darius, and at this point this guy is probably still playing to some extent, because we're just killing him on repeat. Right now, he could get 5 stacks on the Sona, try to kill her, so I decide not to flip it and just ult him away to make sure he doesn't do any Darius shenanigans. And again, like, this is the problem with supers. The supers will kill the enemy minions, so they will actually deny you farm. So when I see the important people on the rest of the map, I decide to go clear this wave, because otherwise it would just get denied for me. So this is a bit in, because I go into the jungle and I didn't actually look at the Viego items. This guy could actually kill me if he flashes my W. Luckily for me, he's just so afraid of me and he gets away. So that's very nice. Now Drake is spawning soon, so I just path down bot, take the wolves on my way there. We always want to be farming. And then this is what I like to do on Sett, is when I'm very ahead and my team just has full control of the pit, I like to lurk in the enemy jungle and wait for someone to face check me. And the enemy doesn't usually expect this. As you can see, like, the Zeri is completely clueless about me being here. The Viego as well. I could have a very good flank right now. I'm mainly worried about the Lux because she's the strong member and she ends up face checking the bush, so it's just a free kill for me. Right now I E her, then I ult immediately to avoid her flashing away from me. And then I proceed to clean up the kill. So the enemy team did the capital sin when it comes to playing from behind, which is contesting something you shouldn't contest. Because now, instead of just losing Drake, they're going to lose Baron as well. Which is eventually going to cost them the game, because the Baron is just too strong at this point of the game. So this is going to end up being slightly of a flip, because Viego is going to have a very good flank on us here. As you can see, it's just that he comes in way too early. And I actually do the mistake you probably shouldn't be doing in your games, because my jungler doesn't have smite. The correct answer is definitely to turn on the Viego since he goes in early. However, I know the Lux is going to be TPing on this Baron, and I was very afraid of her stealing it, so I want to burn the Baron. But this is definitely int. I should have just turned the Viego, killed the smite. I just didn't think of it on the hit at the moment. Now, luckily for me, they completely fail their combo, and I get to last hit the Baron with a Sett auto. This is definitely a mistake you don't want to do, because it could cost you games. And a lot of time I saw this happen. People just don't focus on the jungler when he goes in early, and he ends up getting a steal that he shouldn't have gotten. So right now this is pretty basic macro when it comes to getting Baron. You just want to go and push all of your sides before the enemy gets there and denies you Baron waves. So I just do that. My team is very strong, they can survive on their own. I go bot, usher the minions in, take as much plating, as much turrets as I can. Then I very quickly flash in for a quick kill on this area and keep hammering on their turrets. And this is how you snowball a lead.